Hi there! Thanks so much for joining me again today for yet another video. Today's video I'll be showing you some items that were sent to me by Imagination International. I had emailed them and asked if they had any items that they would like to provide for me to show to my viewers here on my YouTube channel, and they were so very kind enough to send me these 3 items right here, so I really appreciate that. I'm not sure if they're gonna watch, but if someone from Imagination International is watching, thanks so much. So let me tell you what I got. So the first thing here is the Copic Opaque White. Also, all of these items can be found on their website. It's imaginationinternationalinc.com. I will leave a link to their website down in the description of the video. So I have here a 7 milliliter bottle of Copic Opaque White. It's a very liquid, I don't even know if this is acrylic based or not. Let's see. Oh, there we go. It's a thick white water-based paint for adding final details, thin with purified water for smooth drawing. So it's easy to hold, no mess, and super fine brush tips. So you can also get this in a jar as well, but this is the one that they sent me, so I'm just going to open it up here and show you the inside. So it comes in a little fine, let's see. There we go. That's the brush that comes with it. I mean, you don't have to use this brush if you don't want to, but it's there if you'd like to use it. So let's see. So again, this is supposed to work very well with the Copic markers, and I'm sure you can use it for any other mixed media or watercolor painting that you intend to do. The next item that I have here is the, I'm sorry if I pronounced this wrong, Kiraina Wink. These markers are metallic and they have a little shimmer, I don't know if it's beads or there's something in there to make them shimmer, some kind of a pigment, and they are water-based. Let's see if it says, this package is in Japanese, so I can't read it, but it does say this matte glitter color can be used on papers, clothes, photos, and glasses. Used only for writing and drawing. So they're very good for paper crafters, or if you want to add details to drawings or journal pages and whatnot. So I haven't messed around with these at all yet, other than opening this one and seeing what the color was like. So it does have, oh, everything is rolling away. It does have a bullet nib here, and it's very, very metallic, very opaque color, so it's very nice. And this one is a dandelion, like a black pearl, and silver metallic, and there's a white pearl there as well. So again, all of this is found on their website. And the last item that they were nice enough to send is a 25 pack of Copic marker paper. Now, I have used the Express It Blend It card before, and I'm hoping to compare with this. I haven't colored on this yet, but I did use some of this paper to do some of the line work for the coloring pages that I did create for the Art Academy. So this is a 70-pound paper, and it's 8.5 by 11. So this is a picture that I did for the Art Academy. It is in my, what is the name of the book? I can't think today. Into the Forest. This is one of the coloring pages that's in that book that you can find through the Art Academy, or you can get on my website, which is linked in the description below. I decided that I would just go ahead and use one of those pre-drawn images that I had, because I really didn't want to sit down and re-ink another picture for this video. So I used this one instead. It is on the exact same paper that I had shown at the beginning, so everything should work out fine. I am using some Copics here, and I found right off the bat that this paper, it did bleed a little bit. I don't know if it only happened with the red, so I don't know if it's a normal thing for a red to do is to bleed. Like I know some markers tend to give off a little bit more ink than others if they're overfilled or whatnot. I don't know what it was. I can't necessarily say it was the paper because it could have very well have been me, but the red ink did bleed a little bit. And I did use the golden color of the Kiraina Wink around the outside of this picture. So I decided to go ahead and use a marker that I really knew didn't have a whole lot of ink in it to go ahead and do the background for the sky. And you'll see here, before I even get halfway through, the marker is starting to die on me. So it was a B00. It was the lightest blue that I had. I don't have very many Copics. I have about 100 of them. And yeah, that's not that many considering how many you can have. And I don't have any refills except for my skin tones. So this kind of went a little bit the wrong way that I wanted to go. So what I did, it was starting to get really, really streaky. So what I did was I grabbed a B02, I believe, and I colored everything over, and it was still streaky when I was done. Here I am here changing the color. And it was still streaky when I was done, so I'm like, well, maybe if I just get some rubbing alcohol and do some kind of like a watercolor effect in the background. So, and coming up here shortly, you'll see that I grabbed a paintbrush and I put a little bit of rubbing alcohol in the stopper of the bottle, and I just used a dabbing method, and I just covered the background in the rubbing alcohol, and I even tried using the colorless blender here to smooth it out, but of course, the colorless blender is not meant for that. It gets rid of the color. So here you see that I'm getting the rubbing alcohol and the little paintbrush here, and I'm just I figured if this would look a little bit better than the streaks, so I thought that I would go ahead and do this instead. And I really liked the effect in the end, so it wasn't too bad. And the paper held up to all of that. It didn't buckle or anything, and it didn't go through the back. So I was really surprised that the paper held up to all of the alcohol, or the rubbing alcohol that I was putting on for the background. One of the things that I've noticed myself doing is overlooking the shades, placements of shades and shadows while I'm using the markers. And for anyone that's been following along, you guys know that I haven't been using these markers for that long, so I am technically still learning as I go, and I find that I have a hard time sometimes figuring out where there needs to be a shadow and where the light needs to be, so I'm still working on that. Overall, I think the skin tones and everything in the picture turned out pretty well, but in the end, I think I made a little bit of changes off camera, where I did make the part of her face underneath her hair a little bit darker, and I tried to smooth out the harsh lines of the dark skin tone on her arms. So yes, I don't need comments stating that I'm not very good at doing skin tones, because I know that myself, and it is something that I'm working on. So, and overall, I think I did a pretty good job for someone who hasn't been using these markers for very long. So it wasn't a fail, so that's a good thing. So as long as it wasn't a fail. Another thing that I've been struggling with learning how to use these Copic markers is coloring hair. Hair seems to be very challenging for me to do, to find where all the, highlights, again, it's a highlight and shadow type deal. You need to know where they're going to be placed beforehand, and that's another thing that I find very challenging. And I think I did a pretty good job with her hair. I have done hair before that turned out a little bit better, but I used brown shades instead, and I find that using black is very intimidating because it's dark. So once you go dark, you can't go lighter. And at least if you're using like a lighter brown, you can work your way up, and you can kind of stop when you feel like your hair is dark enough. But with black, it's like you can't go back from that. So it was a bit intimidating, and I was trying so hard not to ruin the picture because I wanted to keep it, and my intentions were to sell this piece after I was done, but towards the end I make the outline of the picture a little bit darker, and you'll see that soon. Because I noticed that a lot of the red that I was doing here spilled out into the white, so I couldn't lift it off with the colorless blender. So I thought, hey, well, maybe I'll go around the outside of this with the black and make the outline of the entire picture a little bit darker on the outside. And right towards the end, the ink was not dry, and I put my hand on it and I smeared the black ink slightly off the page, or off of the frame around the picture, and I was so disappointed because now I can't sell it, but I'm not disappointed because, hey, now the picture is mine. I don't know if I'll do something digital with it and go in and fix that up. Maybe won't. We'll see what happens. And here you can see me trying to fix that that red smear, and it did look like it went away a little bit, but it didn't completely go. So I did go around with that black, and I think the roses turned out pretty good. I think the blending could have been a little bit better. Again, I feel that if I had more Copics, I'd be able to do a better job, because I don't really have like groups of markers that go really well together, so I'm kind of picking and choosing and getting as close as what I can. I do have Sandy Allnock's chart. I'm pretty sure that's how you say her name. I'm sorry if it's wrong. So that helps me out a little bit to mix and match my colors. And there you'll see that I was just trying to find some colors that would blend somewhat easily together for the wings here. And I really do like how the wings turned out. And yeah, so the butterflies were done the exact same way. I just blended some colors together for the wings of the butterflies. And also here I'm using the Kiraina Wink Pearl Black, I believe that's what it's called. I don't have them in front of me right now. I'm actually doing this voiceover the next day, and I'm using the silver pearlescent marker on the wings as well. So, and I used the white one on the wings of the butterfly. So I did use all four, and I was very pleasantly surprised by them. They are a very nice marker to work with. One thing I did not like was the flow of the silver one was way too much, and it just went completely over my lines. So that was my only thing that's the only thing that I didn't like about that particular set of markers, was that one marker was a little bit too, I don't even know if liquidy is a word, but you know, it was too runny. It came out way too fast, and you can see there if you look real close that it covered up some of the lines. But overall the colors are very nice. They color very nice, and they are so shimmery. I would suggest to get yourself a set and try them out yourself. They're very nice. Here I got so frustrated with that the brush inside of that thing. I couldn't even get it to work, and I went looking for a small paintbrush, and I didn't have one small enough to use for what I want, so I didn't even get a chance to use that opaque white because the brush just would not work with me. And I have watched videos before where people have complained about the brush that's in those bottles. So yeah, maybe if I can find a smaller brush to do small details, I will definitely try it again in a different video. It is a very nice bright white though, and I'm sure it is great for using to do detailed work. So you saw there that I'd scratched off some of the white that I put up on the trees, and I felt that it was a little bit too bright of a white, so I toned it down by scratching it off again. When the Uniball pen dries, it is very easy to just flake it back off again with your fingers, so that's with a fingernail, so that's what I did. And here you can see that I'm using the trusty Sharpie to go over the lines, because I didn't want to ruin my my multiliners. I can't do English today. I didn't want to ruin the multiliners by going over the pen that I just put down, the white pen, so I went and got the Sharpie. And here is where I was talking about that I did the outline around the picture, and I smeared the ink. So 2 out of the 3 products today that I was testing out for myself worked really well. The opaque white, not so much, just because I couldn't get that brush to work, but I'm sure that with the proper brush it would do some nice detail work, which I will attempt again in another video. So we're getting close to the end here, and if you'd like the video, go ahead, give me a thumbs up, and leave some comments, questions, advice, or anything you'd like down in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please go ahead and do so. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.